Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Khoi. I thought I might do a little story today just to change it up. I'm about to start my night shift. When I was 18 or so, when I first moved down to this little island to begin my university study, I used to live at this rental place. It was a house. It wasn't too big, but everybody sort of had their own rooms, and there was a kitchen and laundry. So there were about 5 or 6 of us, and we were all university students. Most of them were guys. Occasionally, there were a few women that came to rent the place for a while and then left. There was this older woman who lived there for a while. Well, when I say older, I'm just talking about people in the from the age range of 18 to the point of 40. And older here means she's past her 20s. She was 28, I'm pretty sure. Who lived there for a while, and I reckon this woman was my introduction to, I guess, the adult dating life. So this woman, originally, how she came to live in that house was through me. On Facebook, there are these community groups of different kind of people who live in this city, this country town. And you guys know me, I'm a Vietnamese, and the community here in this town, there are not many Vietnamese people living in this town. So naturally, we created a Facebook group for those who might be new to the island. They can ask for help and advertise products, whatever it is that they're trying to sell. We have our own little community group. So this woman, she came from the mainland here being the big island of Australia. She came down to this tiny island, Tasmania, and she was looking for a house. So she posted on Facebook, and at the time, the place that I was renting at, there was a spare room. So she was asking, I am desperate to find a room because my lease is about to end soon and I have nowhere to stay. So naturally, I saw that our house has a room, so I just very blazely commented on her post saying that, oh, my place has a room currently. This is my landlord's number. You should contact him. And this woman, she just added me as a friend, and then instead of texting me, she jumped straight into calling me. Calling. And back then when I was 18, I just got out of school, high school. I was still in this nerdy, geeky, awkward, socially awkward stage. I thought to myself, I'm moving down to this little island, I'm gonna reinvent myself. I'm not gonna be the same guy that I was in high school anymore. So I'm still developing. And I don't care what you say about 18 years old being adults, legally responsible adults, because when you're 18, you're still a kid to me, okay? You're still dumb as fuck. A lot of you, I'm talking about the majority here. Of course, there's some people who are wise beyond their age. But when you're 18, you're technically still a high school graduate. You're still dumb as fuck. You still haven't got a lot of experience. So that was me. And this woman, she called me, and I was very nervous at picking up the phone, but I picked it up anyways. And she addressed me as her senior. So in our culture, in Vietnamese culture, you call the people who are older than you as your senior, as a sign of respect, and you call the people below you as your juniors. So she doesn't know me, obviously, so out of respect, I guess, she called me her senior, but she would have seen my profile picture, and I was surprised that she called me her senior. Anyways, we agreed to meet up, and I showed her the place around, and she called the landlord, and then she moved in. Now, the whole time that she was living in that place, there was a lot of sexual tension. Um, it was very awkward for me being a little kid and all, a little 18-year-old kid, and she was in her 28, 29 years, nearing on her 30s. So this high school student, me, was sitting at the table, and this woman sat across from me. She was very invasive, like she was full on knocking at my door, opening my door without knocking, poking her head in while I'm doing my own shit. You know what I do when I'm 18. No, not in that way. I was studying. I was being a good kid, okay? But yeah, she was very invasive. Every time I do something, she would question me, asking me, oh, what are you doing? Are you cooking for me? Are there any leftover for me? Are you cooking for yourself? Are you eating by yourself? Can I join in? Can I have a piece? Those sort of things. Maybe I am being whitewashed in this foreign land, and I do not understand the concept of personal privacy and cordiality in my own mother tongue. Maybe I'm too whitewashed to understand that this is how our people operates. But I don't know, I felt like my privacy was being invaded. Sharing a house with this woman. What else? So every time that I do something, she would question and she would want to join in with me, even though I just want to be by myself. I just want to study. I just want to do my assignments. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this strange woman. But yeah, she would find ways to be a part of my life. You know what I mean? And then one day, out of the blue, she was sitting across from me on the same table. I was eating dinner or lunch or whatever. I can't remember exactly. And she just sighed and said, I'm nearing my 30s. And looking around me, all of my friends, they're getting married. All of my friends, they're getting kids. And every time I look on Facebook, I see these couples, and I look at myself, and I wonder, why is it that I can't get a husband? She just randomly told me this out of the blue. And then she said, maybe I am not being submissive enough. Maybe I was too much of a tomboy. And she was a little bit of a masculine woman, if you know what I mean. Like she was very ambitious for some reason. Like she wanted to apply to this restaurant, and she wanted to become the manager. A strange woman from the big island came down to this little island, and she thinks she can just walk into any restaurants, and then I don't know, maybe I'm being too judgmental, but she thinks that she can just walk up to anyone and ask for a job and be persistent and keep nagging them until they give in. Like she was that kind of woman, and that's how I felt as well. She was nagging me. She was asking me for favors, asking me to go out to the supermarket with her at nights. It's all these stuff. I was too dumb back then to realize that this woman was actually hitting on me. I just thought she was being very annoying. And I didn't like that. So it was obvious to me now that she was hitting on me. And that day she just said, why can't I find a husband? And then suddenly she looked at me. She was like this. She looked at me and she said, do you know that you remind me so much of my ex? We broke up just last year, and he looked exactly like you. And I was a little bit creeped out. I was dumb at the time, okay? So I didn't know these signs are the choosing signals. So this woman, she was hitting on me and hinting at wanting to start a relationship with me, and I was too dumb to realize that. One time, even, like, she asked me if I was in the city, and I said yeah, and then she just came up to me and asked me if she can hold my hands and walk with me throughout the city because she felt sorry for me for not having a girlfriend at Christmas time. I just said yes because I felt really pressured. I don't know, like there's this sense of urgency whenever I'm with this woman. Like I felt like she dominated me. Like I felt like I was being, I don't know, like I felt like she was my master. You know what I mean? Like when someone is older than you feel like you're a little bit vulnerable to them. And as an 18-year-old kid, that's definitely how I felt. So many times this woman would drop hints saying stuff like, I reminded her of her ex-partner who broke up for obvious reasons. They didn't get along. He was rich and she didn't feel welcome by his family. I'm not going to go into too much details because as much as I love to express my feelings and thoughts, I feel like this could potentially put her in danger for some reasons. So this woman, she was complaining all the time about not having a husband, being single, being childless, being nearing her 30s and still cannot secure a man, her own words. And then one day, suddenly out of the blue, this was just before I left that place, this strange older gentleman walked into our house. And this guy, when I say older, I mean old, like really old, like 60 years old. He walked into the house. I was about to go into my room and I saw him and I said, hi, can I help you? I said, no, I'm just here to visit a friend. That was her boyfriend, a 60-year-old man. And then over the next few weeks, this guy keeps rocking up to our house, keep going into the bedroom, and I keep hearing giggling noises inside the bedroom. And when we were eating dinner, he sat down at the table as well. We talked a bit, and I was wearing this shirt, Judas Priest. And he looked at me with his very judging eyes, and he said, Judas Priest? You disgust me. I later found out that this guy was Christian. He used to go to the same church as this woman, and that's how they met. Now, this was before I was Christian as well, so I was not very receptive to what Christians had to say to me at the time. I would have these lengthy debates whenever I have a missionary coming to knock on the door asking me if I want to talk about Jesus. So I was in that antagonistic stage. Like I view Christians as people who are just trying to attack me and trying to indoctrinate me with their ideologies. So this guy, when he said, you disgust me, I took that personally. I know he was joking, but I took it personally. And I started hating this guy. What the fuck is this 60-year-old man doing in our house? I know it's not my house, but I just felt like my privacy was being invaded even more when this woman brought her boyfriend, her 60-year-old boyfriend, to our house without saying anything. And fast forward, the couple, they got married just in under 3 months. After I moved out, I learned that they got married and they got children. No, not children, just a child, just a baby. After 3 months. No, not after 3 months. So after 3 months, they got married, and then when I was still studying, sometimes I would check back on them, and she got pregnant, like after their marriage, pretty much. So that made me question my life for the first time. what is it about Christianity that seems to always get the weirdest people from the weirdest parts of life together into a committed relationship? Is this the truth? And I have to ask myself this question as well. If I so value a traditional woman, then I have to be open to the possibilities that my soulmate is probably not the one that I had intended to pursue. It might be someone who's completely different from me, from a different culture, different background. I might have to settle for someone who's a lot older than me. And that sort of troubles me a bit. But looking at this couple, they have now gone off grid, so I can't follow their activities anymore. I don't know where they are, what are they up to, whether they're still alive or dead. She deactivated all of her social media, so I can't follow her anymore. So I don't know how they are doing. If you're watching this, I just want to know how you are doing, and I hope you're well. But yeah, I just have a lot of doubts in my mind. Is this the way? A lot of you say that you want a traditional woman. Well, what is a traditional woman? It's certainly not a pretty face. Not just a girl with a pretty face, because a lot of the time, these pretty girls, they are so used to getting things their own ways in life that they don't really have to work hard anymore. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but usually, when you date a pretty girl, they don't know what hard work is, because they use their beauty to their advantage to get things their own way in life. Like, they're so used to getting things their own way. They didn't have to work hard. But if you date someone who's probably, I'll be honest, if you date someone who's not that attractive, or maybe someone who was even hideous back in their childhood, and they had sort of like a glow up period, maybe those are a better choice for you, because those girls, they know what it took to be where they are. They had to work hard on themselves. So for me, moving forward, maybe I should seek out those ugly duckling, those girls who peaked later in life. Maybe they are a better match for me. But I don't know, this video is getting long. If you're still watching, I hope you're doing well. Stay strong, God bless, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.